super happy that we have Vetheo with us here in the post-game lobby together with Broxa, because a little bit of background on how this works. Basically, all teams can be on PGL or have to be on PGL at least once, of course, during the split of the season, and Misfits hadn't been yet, so we asked Misfits, hey, could Vetheo join, win or lose, after their game versus G2? But as you can imagine, 10 minutes into that game, we were going to send a note to your management to excuse you if you wanted to, because, oh my God, Vetheo, that was insane. How did you come back from that 10K deficit?
How did we come back? I have no idea. I mean, this game was crazy. It was really, hard to play, because when you lose like both inhib at 17 minutes, you say, yeah, but I kind of want to play too. Mm-hmm. So when we see them hinting, because they got too cocky, hitting our like tower Nexus at 17 minutes, so we said, okay, the guys, we need to at least play the game. So we keep taking good fights, and they keep like griefing and doing nothing. You could see that they were a bit stressed during game, I think, because like for 15 minutes they didn't do anything, and because we had like so many, we had 2 inhib downs, we had so many XP and golds advantage, and with our comp we were kind of outscaling anyway, so we couldn't lose the game, I felt like, at one point.
Crazy. Broxa, what was your view on what G2 did badly and what Misfits did well?
Well, I found it interesting that you said that at one point it feels like you're ahead all of a sudden, because when you're in the game, when you stall for that long, that's kind of what it feels like. But the crazy part is that because you guys were so far down, like 10k so early, it's like at the point where you're in the game and you feel like you're stronger, you're actually only even with G2 all of a sudden. So it feels like you're ahead, you feel like you have some momentum, and I think you did. Like at one point, as you said, it felt like G2 were getting stressed. I'm sure they were kind of shaking towards the end, throwing that game, and you guys just kept finding picks and taking them down, really.
Look at, it's gone, but it's going to come back. Oh, there it is. The goal difference over time, that is nuts. Obviously, you can't really know exactly how far you're behind, but is it true what Broxa says, that because of if you were so far behind and you managed to hang on and then you win like skirmish after skirmish after skirmish, do you just begin to feel like you are in control, even though technically you might not be?
When you win every fight, you just feel that you can't lose. At one point, I remember saying, like, guys, we can't lose any fight anyway, so it's fine. Because, we couldn't lose fight because our comp, we were outscaling, out XP, and I think, like, XP has a lot of value that you can't measure it with golds, but XP has a lot of value. I was, like, 2 levels up, and, like, AD and top were 1 level up when we were, like, 10k behind. So, at one point, I just felt like we couldn't really lose the game.
Mm-hmm. You've got the Kia player of the game again. With 95% of the votes, you now have 9 player of the games. And I know there's a lot of chatter online that people are like, well, the French people are very passionate, blah, 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 but you deserve this one and you deserve so many of the others as well. How do you feel about the fact that you're getting so much, I think, recognition also from the wider community as to how you've been playing this season?
To be really honest, I don't really care. It's like, it's good, and I feel like sometimes some that I won could have went to my teammates, and it was totally fine. I won maybe because, that's a bit strange, but I have probably the biggest fan base out of my teammates. So sometimes it's more like a fan vote, and I don't really care. It's like, I'm playing good when, I'm the first who knows when I'm playing good and when I'm playing bad, and it feels like a bit good, but I don't really care that much.
I think Broxa can probably relate. Or you're probably on a lot of teams where you thought you always did well, and you did, but there were other names that always got the fan bases and the votes. Unlucky.
Well, what really strikes out to me is like the humbleness, saying like, oh, I would like to share it with my team. It's like a team effort. You have been playing really well, and obviously you deserve it. There was one thing I just thought about, like, because you've been doing really well in this current meta. Like, are there any champions, mid lane champions you're missing that you would like to see come back into the meta?
There is, I think that right now, and in general, I can say like a lot of styles of champs. And there is like some of champs that I really like that are a bit missing or less powerful than they were. But to be honest, every meta will find some picks that I like. So it doesn't really matter because I know meta shifts and I have a lot of time to play and a lot of time to play the champs I like. It will rotate. So for me, I really like how the meta is going.
Mm-hmm. I love that you're so humble as well, but I think everybody can see that you're playing so well, and it's really cool to see in following you for a few years now, and the fact that you came onto the scene as a rookie, and then you were just finding your ceiling, which is super crazy. I know that you renamed your account, I believe, to MVP 2022 MVP, and I think that really signifies the growth and the work that you put in yourself. How do you feel about your own work ethic when it comes to being the best? And do you feel like you put in more hours, or do you approach practice from a different way, etc.?
I think I have good work ethic. I play a lot. I mean, it's like League is my whole life, and I put my whole life into League. So I just play. When I don't play, I watch VODs or stuff. I just think about League every time. So I think I have good work ethic. I can maybe still put more effort in scrims and maybe like get less affected by my solo queue results too. But I think my work ethic is good, and I think that at least I have the right mentality. That's one of my strengths, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you do different now than last year? Now that you have more experience, when you look at like what your
games like this, for instance,
is like I mean, like on a regular day, is there anything you do differently compared to last year?
I think that last year, I mean, I always really wanted to win, but this year I feel more like I do everything I can to win, and that I think I could have done more last year in this right now I mean, I can still probably do more, but I have really the feeling that I do everything I can to win and to become better. So yeah, I think that change between, I think, like the fact of missing worlds last year really affected me. Mm-hmm. And during off season, I just wanted to not lose again. So right now, I mean, maybe I don't win every time, but at least I do everything I can to win.
Yeah, and it wasn't the easiest in terms of, it's not like you were playing with the same team coming into this year. There were adjustments made as well, but you've now already locked in the playoffs, which means that you can approach the rest of the season in a different way. I guess you can really work on the things you want to work on. When you look at your team as a whole, where are there areas of work? I would say maybe the early game, but on the other hand, you keep losing the early game and winning the game, so...
Yeah, I think we can definitely become way better on lane, how to play first Drake, first Herald, and laning phase. I think we need experience. I mean, I've been rookie last year, and I think experience gave you so much confidence and stuff. I mean, to be fair, I think my teammates are doing insanely well. Zlatan and Mercer are doing so great, and way better than me last year. So yeah, I am really confident with this team, with experience, and keep working on the stuff we're missing, and keep playing new champs and stuff like this. We can really, I mean, I think we can work fine, but we can become so much better than we are right now.
Mm-hmm. Are you the leader, or do you feel like the leader?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm just a normal person that gives his best, and I don't think we have a real leader. Just everyone is trying their best, and I mean, I think that's really good this way.
Mm-hmm. Final question about the game before we talk about the standings. Do you feel like playing a game like this and coming back from a deficit like this on stage is valuable in terms of the lessons you learn and you are going to have to learn going into the playoffs and going up against these teams in best of fives?
I think, I mean, you can learn so much from this game, to be honest. And I think it feels really good. It keeps us closer to win this kind of game. Come back, nobody gave up and stuff like this. But I just think we played really poorly early game, and we need to work on our early game before playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at the standings then, because right now Rogue, Fnatic, and Misfits are all already locked in playoffs. Unfortunately, Astralis is eliminated. They had a very good fight, and they won a few games, and actually a lot of games, and I think gave hope to the fans and everyone. But unfortunately, it is their exit. Broxa, what do you make of our current top three? Is this what you had expected pre-season?
To be honest, I'm not very surprised about the current top three. Obviously, a lot of people were expecting G2, Vitality to be further up the standings, but at the same time, Vetheo already mentioned how important the experience is for a team like Misfits, obviously mixing in a few rookies, but also having some members with experience stepping up big time. Rogue and Fnatic also experienced rosters, and I think most of all the experience has really been paying off. A team like Vitality, I guess, is the exception to that in general, but very strong top right now.
Mm-hmm. Vetheo, when you look at the standings and the race for playoffs, we of course have a lot that can still happen, but I'm looking at Vitality, SK Gaming, Mad Lions, VDS maybe even. Who's your pick to be like the last team that makes it into the playoffs, and maybe who falls out?
I think the playoff will be like this. I think Vitality, G2, and Excel will make it with the top three. I don't know which order, but I think these are the 6 teams who will make playoffs.
So no Mad Lions and no SK Gaming.
No, I don't think so.
Oof. Is this coming also off you scrimming and then just seeing their potential?
Not really. It's more about what I see on stage. Because, I mean, to be fair, I don't think we're a good scrim team. I mean, lately we're not doing that good on scrim, so I can't really relate to scrims. But I can see how teams play. I mean, when I scrim them and when they play on stage, I can even see the difference. So yeah, it's mostly about what I see from them on stage.
This looked like a scrim, to be honest, this game. If this happens in a scrim, do you say, let's go next, or?
I mean, with what happened early, I think we'll probably remake the game.
Oh! See, I mean, you didn't even practice it, and yet it worked when you did it on stage. That's very impressive. Let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule. We have the match of the week, Mad versus Fnatic, both on very different trajectories. And I hear you, people that are like, well, why don't you take another match? Because Mad's not doing too well. But that's exactly why we want to make it a match of the week, because Mad might fall out of the playoffs, which is crazy. And we also have XL versus Rogue, which is going to be huge for playoffs. Yeah, Mad versus Fnatic, the match of the week. Mats, Broxa, what do you think after what you saw today? Ouch.
I think overall, today has turned out very different than I expected coming into it. So I'm not really sure what to expect going into tomorrow. I think there's a lot of exciting games. Obviously, Mad versus Fnatic being a very interesting one towards the end. And while it's match of the week, if Mad and Fnatic play the way they did today, then I think it's going to be pretty one-sided. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, unfortunately, that kind of looks like it. As said, also XL and Rogue up versus each other. Huge battles in terms of the playoffs. But Vetheo and Misfits can rest easy because they have already made it to the playoffs. I'd like to take a PGL selfie. Socially distanced, of course. I think if we stand up. Let's see. Okay, this is going to be trickier than usual. Okay. All right, here we go. Yay! Awesome. Here we go. I forget that I have a handheld mic, so if you didn't hear me, we had to get a PGL selfie. And thank you so much, Broxa, for being here today, and you'll be here tomorrow as well. Thank you, Vetheo. Congratulations once again. And that's all from us here tonight. Over in the LCS, they're going to start their super week. They're going to start with a clash between Cloud9 and Dignitas, and we'll see you for more LEC tomorrow. Bye-bye.